good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another edition of Slice and Dice here with the Manylands campaign. I know we've been off for a little while because Muggins here was doing some kind of show, but that's all over now, and we're back to our regular schedule, we hope, from this point on, to have regular scheduled content here on the channel. That's Wednesdays, 7 p.m. British Standard Time, or British Summertime, should I say. And, of course, it's not just me, Jack, your DM, today, because, of course, with us are our lovely players. Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Hello.
And a big welcome back to Marty. It's been a hot minute since we've had Neris. Well, we've had you as Neris, should I say. We've had Neris there, but it's been me pretending to be Neris, which is not... It's nowhere near the authentic Neris. 100% fresh from you.
Nowhere near as sassy.
Nowhere near as sassy. Like, we're trying to kind of phase her into the background a little bit. And a vitally important session for you to be at, of course, with how things were left last time, which we'll get into very shortly. But before we do so, probably should get across a couple of shameless plugs. First of all...
Shameless plug!
So this first one goes out to the madman that is Pavel, who has now subscribed again. He's on a 19-month streak subscribing to the channel, who also says, yo, that guitar solo is sick, because he subscribed during the intro. Thank you, Pavel. Much appreciated. And good evening to 3 Kobolds in a Coat as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. That's that one.
Shameless plug!
Now, usually I check with the guys ahead of time today whether they have any shameless plugs, and I did not. So now, guys, is your warning. If you do have anything, just think of it while I go through this next shameless plug, which is, of course, also, speaking of Marta, who's here. Hello, Marta. A big thank you to Marta for on Wednesday last week meeting up with me and going, hey, are you busy on Friday? Because there's this conference thing with voiceovers and stuff that you should probably go to, because it'd be cool. And I was like, I'm free on Friday. I can afford to buy a ticket. Let's do this thing. Yeah, which is great fun. Which is Get Your Game On, with hosted by the VoiceOver Network. Oh, it was a lovely event. Thank you so much for coming. If they're inviting me to go, sorry. Yeah, it was just great to... So many inspirational people that are in the industry and stuff. It was great. So thank you, Marta, for that. That's your shameless plug.
Yeah, I was just shocked, I tell you, that you weren't already going.
I don't hear about these things. Apparently I live under a rock, or perhaps it was actually in my stage bubble during the show that I was just not keeping an eye on anything else. But yeah, thank you for that.
Shameless
immersed in
plug!
I was immersed.
That's what it is. You were immersed in your role.
That's exactly what it was. I was immersed in the role of the love of theatre and the stage. But anyway, final shameless plug. Firstly, opening up to the floor, if you guys have any shameless plugs, anything worth noting.
We've been doing it for
Yes,
a
we
while.
have.
Got a little hot streak going. Might as well
Yes.
continue. Also, it's
Do it, Bart.
starting to get pretty close now.
It's
nearly
closing
a month, just over a month till the first one. So I am, for those who are unaware, I am doing 2 walks to raise money for Macmillan Cancer Support. One on the 18th of June, which will be a 26-mile hike in the Lake District. And then about a week later, I will be doing a 13-mile hike in Yorkshire. Both for the same cause. I am delighted and amazed to report that I am 82% of the way to my funding goal. And the incredibly generous support of people associated with this channel is no small part of why. So if you have donated already, thank you very much. I am incredibly grateful. And if you haven't, no worries. But if you think you can spare me a bit of dosh, then that would be very gratefully received. Macmillan Cancer Support do excellent work. I can't remember if I've mentioned, but my uncle currently has stage 4 cancer and has been getting a lot of support from Macmillan, and they do really, really amazing stuff. So an emphatically worthy cause. And if you have any money you wouldn't mind slinging my way, then there is a link on our Twitch page. And I think, Jack, have you been putting the links in the YouTube doobly-doo as well, or no?
No, it's on our Twitch page. I don't think it's on the YouTube as far
Twitch
as
page. Okay, no worries. But the link to the Twitch page is on YouTube. So
that is true.
Go to our Twitch page, and there you will find there a link to my Just Giving page. And getting real now.
If you can give generously. Three Kobolds in a Coat asks, will we be able to support after the fact?
That's a good question. I don't know of any reason why not.
I believe you can normally on Just Giving pages.
Usually the way these things work is that you can continue to accept donations afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes.
And final sort of... so thank you for that, Bart, first of all. Macmillan Cancer Support, from first-hand experience, do fantastic work. Very worthy cause, and also, Bart's putting himself on the line to do this. So, on his very long walk. So this should be a worthy cause indeed. Thank you very much. But speaking of links that you can find,
shameless plug,
and this has been prompted by the lovely DK, who's modelling one of our T-shirts for us today. Of course, you can also visit our merch store if you are so inclined. Some heroes wear ruffs. As you can see, we have that's one of our many lines we have in our merch store, our spring store. You can also get one of our latest lines is the Black and Golds for the Discerning Dragonborn, which is the bank that the party are currently using as a collection for that, and loads more on our merch store, which again, as I said, has a link to that on our Twitch page, on YouTube, all over the place. Yes, if you're so inclined to get yourself some new apparel and so on, please do visit that. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's jump in. A beautifully modelled DK says MDubs82, who I should also note only started following us 4 days ago. Hello and welcome, MDubs. Thank you for joining us here on Slice and Dice. So yes, beautifully modelled. He is fantastic work. I love your work, love your shirt, DK. So let's more of that going forward. All right, so without any further ado, shall we jump in with tonight's session here in the Manylands campaign on Slice and Dice? And we are back. So, folks, last time here in the Manylands campaign. Now, I have about 3 pages of notes here, and 4 pages, and I'm going to condense them down because these updates take too long. So, very briefly, Seth awoke to find himself after having a very strange dream, as did some of the party, in fact, have some strange dreams. He awoke to find himself with a new servant, a familiar by the name of Rallum, or at least that Seth gave the name Rallum, which, as it turns out, is Malar backwards, which hilarity ensued from finding that out, because I didn't realise that at first. Anyway, what Seth doesn't realise is that his eyes have turned red after this dream with the spidery lady that was talking to him, and it was all very disturbing, and has gifted him powers, so it seems. One of those powers being that his dark vision has improved. However, he now has sunlight sensitivity, and his eyes are now red, which is disconcerting because that's not his normal colour, which promptly made Malar and Brina, who were already suspicious of Seth and the scimitar that he carries now, to diagnose, interrogate, not torture, other words are available, but basically accost Seth with Zone of Truth and compel him to tell them exactly what was going on, until eventually, thanks to some interventions, which actually got more information than they perhaps were intended to, by Brucon and co. They eventually decided that, you know what, this is unethical, let's stop with the Zone of Truth. But they did find out about Seth's familiar, and that he got his magical powers from an unknown source. Nerys was very uncomfortable with this conversation about, compelling Seth, because everyone's allowed their secrets, and she stormed out of the room, back to her room, out of the tavern, let them get on with it. And Dox, played by Jess, our guest star, who unfortunately is not here today, was also kind of uncomfortable and just resigned herself to the fact that these lot are going to get themselves killed unless she helps out. Anyway, through this line of questioning, you basically unveiled a lot about Seth and his own insecurities and his difficulty in trusting people, and that's what prompted Brina to drop the Zone of Truth so that you guys could talk freely. The others then shared what happened in their dreams as well, and there was a lot of rumination on that. But before Dox then intervenes and pushes forward, guys, present. The investigation. This is what we need to focus on. And after some discussion, there were 2 lines of inquiry to go forward with. Half the group have decided to go to convene with their kobold captive, taken from the, believe they are a member of the Kobold Kingdom, who's now been held in a safe house in the Black Sector by Captain Terrick. So Leo, knowing where the safe house is, led that half of the group. Meanwhile, the other half, accompanied by Seth's familiar, Rallum, in a raven, then headed towards the palace, because Brina had revealed that there is a red mage being kept prisoner within the jail underneath the palace. So you went there. Malar, Nerys, Dox, in disguise as a lizard folk, who she is called Ebix, along with the familiar, went to the king and asked permission to see the captive. They did. They were led down the stairs, down several flights of stairs actually, to the prisons, sort of in a subterranean level. And within the prison, in the last cell, they found this red mage, who was none other than Damon, the red mage who had caused so much grief to the party earlier on in the campaign. He now is a prisoner, and the king made the group promise before heading down there that they would not harm the prisoner, for they are a useful source of information. Plus, the anti-magic field that is in effect in the palace is going to hinder any sort of immolation, for instance, that the party might want to exact upon the captive. And that's where we pick things up now. So we've just had this revelation, as you've just Malar, Nerys, along with the familiar and Dox, who doesn't know Damon from Adam, are now face to face with this prisoner. He's because you weren't here last time, Marta. The jails down here, rather than like a Western jails, these are like sort of almost individual alcove, like little units, basically small rooms with stone walls, and then they're just the bronze doors with a little window iron bars that you can see through, and that's where you're seeing Damon. Of course, with your dark vision as well, you're seeing him clearer than Malar, because it's quite dimly lit in here. And yeah, you've just seen him and said, "What are you doing here, Damon?" And that's where we left things last time, with Malar holding you back.
Hey, you swing first, bro. Come on, bro. Let's dance. Come on.
Nerys and Malar, wasn't it? Fancy seeing you here. Is there something I can do to help you?
Just out of character, I'm not gonna know what questions to ask right now. I've been away for
That's
so
a
long.
very good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah. I would
Marta.
ask questions, but I have no idea where I'm coming from. So
Right. So sorry. Yes, should have recapped you with that. Sorry. So you guys are. I believe the idea was that they want to see if the red mages are involved at all with the assassination. Bart, James, Dan, please feel free to jump in with any additional stuff.
Why don't I lead and then Martha,
Yeah.
you jump in as you sort of get a feel for things. So
I'll cue
Malar
you
is-
in. I'll cue you in. I'll be like,
Yeah, yeah.
let me go. Let me go. I'm just gonna stab him just a little bit. I can't burn him.
Now,
Just a-
Ms. Neris, no, we've discussed this. No,
nothing on the vocal cords. Okay?
No, no, Ms. Neris. That is not the way of the 8. Come now, control yourself.
You follow the 8. I follow me, and I want to stab him. I want to stab him real bad. God, just the legs.
The king said
No,
not to harm him. Doc's gonna step.
I'm gonna
steps in
harm
as
your
well.
face.
No,
Don't get out of my
do
way.
that.
Malar bear hugs Neris. But to the extent that they're both facing the same direction as he bear hugs Neris. Malar's got
Yeah.
the height, so it's just no, Miss
Spoon.
no, just and then just turns to face Damon in this awkwardly fashioned papoose with Neris in, trunk over and around, oh now you pointing with the trunk. Oh now what are you doing here? We thought you were running back to Isk. What is the meaning of this?
Yeah, you're quite right, Mr. Shade Creek. I was. After the.
Now that's Deacon Shade Creek.
Of course it is. Yes. After our last entanglement, I, you may remember, teleported myself away, and well, I was trying to make my way back to Kothar when, crossing the mountains here, I was captured by these idiots on their wyverns and was brought here. Apparently red mages are not well looked upon here, and I can only imagine why, knowing the history, as I'm sure you do. But apparently the king found me useful, and so agreed not to kill me by sending me to the Trial of the Seven Deaths. You must be the pit champions I've heard whispers of, right? Oh dear. Perhaps I should have faced this creature. Perhaps I would have been successful on my own. I mean, I nearly beat all of you before. Anyway, or perhaps you've improved some since last time I met you. Perhaps I shouldn't underestimate you as I did last time. Anyway.
Oh, now, what have you been telling the king there? Now, what do you know about the goings on in the kingdom?
Well, I know, of course, about the assassination attempt. The king seems rather paranoid, and I also know, now from seeing it, that the Moor throne is indeed one of the artifacts of Ushtag. And so, I mean, I'm sure before long my brethren will make a move on to the palace and try to extract that piece. We already knew of its existence, of course, but didn't realize it was within the palace itself. The king seems to be, for all of his paranoia, it may serve him well, actually, in this particular instance.
Oh, now, the what now of who, where, the Ushtag? What is this nonsense?
You mean you
No.
didn't check out the rest of Korak? You did not find the map room with the locations of all of the artifacts of Ushtag that the Red Mages are? You didn't, did you? Oh, this must all be very new and eye-opening for you.
What? Now, have we established who Ushtag is in the history of?
Yeah,
we
you're
have a
aware
guess,
of Ushtag,
sure.
yeah. Because there was a lot of iconography and murals and stuff in Burikrin, for instance. So you guys are familiar with the history, even if it's told in tales and myths and whatnot.
Now can I stab him?
No, Miss, no.
Nerist, come on
Nerist.
now. I'm sure the guards will have taken any weapons that were on your person before you came here. They don't like to take weapons in front of the king, do they? How's your uncle, by the way?
If you did something to my uncle, I'm going to literally end you here and now. And I don't care if they kill me after, but you will die.
Oh no, I did nothing to your uncle. I seem to remember you did something to your aunt, though, if I remember rightly.
Malor, let me go.
Oh no, Ms. Neris, be the bigger person. Oh, Ms. Neris, be the bigger person.
Bigger person? Right.
It's a metaphor. You can. He will suffer much more greatly if he's left to rot down here than if you were to deprive him of such indignity with your sudden and ferocious wrath.
There is no indignity great enough. But know this, Damon. I will find you without a magical barrier, and I will literally burn your very essence and wipe it from this plane of existence. Nobody will ever know who you are, what your name is, what you did. You will cease to exist. There'll be nothing to you. Okay? Okay.
I look forward to that
Looking
day.
forward to it. Oh, me too. Now, Mellor, let me go.
Oh no! I think we should leave, Ms. Neris.
Okay, can we do a grapple check?
You can do a contested grapple check, sure. So Malar, it's athletics. Neris, it's athletics or acrobatics. Your
it's not gonna be great, but I'm gonna give it a go. Like, is athletics or acrobatic? Okay, acrobatics if you'll allow it.
Yeah. Try and slither out. That's fine.
15.
Oh, 16.
Damn.
Ooh, you try and slip free, but Malar can feel you squirming and holds tighter. It's nothing personal, you understand. It was all part of... You were just
Shut your face, Damon!
Another piece of the puzzle. We have
Shut
what
it.
we needed from you.
Shut. Just...
Malar now turns, still holding Neris, and just starts to leave. He goes out and he's like, "Now, Ms. Neris, this is more about saving your immortal soul than it is about getting petty revenge. Just think of this moment when you have calmed down, and you'll thank me for it later."
Did you not want to know the location of the artifacts?
Next time you get in my...
Malar stops at the talk of the artifact and turns back, still with Neris. We both sort of just rotate. Artifact?
The other pieces of Ushtag. What the Red Mages are after. What they've been looking for this time.
What do you intend to do with these artifacts?
Give me a good reason why I should tell you, Deacon Shade Creek. Betray my own kind.
Right now, I am the only thing saving you from the fists of fury of Ms. Neris here. Perhaps that is enough.
You can make a persuasion or an intimidation check, because I feel there's both of these suitable in this situation.
I'll tell you what. Can I split the difference? A plea to the DM. Can I make a persuasion check and then have Marta make an intimidation check? I know it's technically with advantage.
If Neris does something suitable to aid this, I'll allow that. But so far I have not heard anything from Neris. So you're restraining her.
I was just trying to think, what's the last thing you said?
Artifacts.
About the artifacts. And we're asking what they're trying to do and where they are.
And I've said the only thing he should tell us, because right now I'm the only thing holding you back from pummeling him into oblivion.
I'll tell you.
Mala, you can make a persuasion check.
I'll tell you what, Damon. I'll give you a head start. I'll give you a head start if you tell him now.
A head start of getting out of this cell.
A head start to staying alive a little longer.
Amusing. Okay, yes, you can make an intimidation check, and Mallow, you can make a persuasion check, and we'll, split the difference on these two. See who gets any, or who, if either of you get anything from this.
Natural
It's
20.
not. For God! Oh God!
It's a natural 20, and I have +7 persuasion. Persuasion, sorry. +7 intimidation as well.
Well, welcome
Both
back.
intimidation.
Welcome back, Marta. Jeez, first roll. Natural 20.
Just
Love it.
have no. It's my second roll.
Oh no, you did the acrobatics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Malar, what did you get for persuasion?
I got 18.
Oh, so you're both doing pretty well.
I would like him to see his own soul disappearing in my eyes.
I'd prefer it if the two of you
Burning embers.
were to look me in the eyes and be close to myself, so I'm not calling across the jail for all to hear, if you don't mind.
Can I insight check that? Is that a blatant
Sure.
and obvious ploy?
Sure, inside check it, no worries.
20. Dirty 20.
It just seems like he just doesn't want everyone to hear this, and it is quite echoey down here, so, being in close proximity means he could speak softer.
Oh, Ms. Neris, what do you think?
I've been trying to get closer to him this entire time. He wouldn't let me.
Boom, boom. We'll head back on over.
So there's obviously the reinforced door between you and Damon, and he hasn't come up to the bars to the bars in the door. He's and a wild Marshal appears. Hello, Marshal. Excellent timing. 'Cause we'll bring everyone else in soon enough, I'm sure, because the ever watchful presence of the of your familiar Rallum Seth means you are privy to this conversation while you're using your action to eavesdrop. Anyway, you're brought up to the reinforced bronze door with the bars across. Thank you to Campbell Richard too, who's just started following us. Hello and welcome. Thank you.
No, god damn it.
Is this another one of yours? Excellent.
Yeah,
Yes.
hey guys.
Come
Hey,
join
Campbell.
us in the
Hey, Emma.
nerddom.
Hey, Joe.
Anyway, so you bring them up to the door, the two of you, plus Dox and Rallum the Raven. He is still standing at a conservative distance from the door. He's a little bit reserved, but he takes a step closer, removes his cowl, and you can see the kind of strawberry blonde short hair, sort of about probably just under shoulder length hair at this point. And his orangey eyes, not too dissimilar to Neris's own, actually. As he kind of leans in closer in a conspiratorial fashion. Well, I do not have on my person all of the locations to these particular items. However, I know where you can find a map with the location of all of the artifacts that the Red Mages are after. All you need to do is find one of the Red Mage hideouts, just like Korak. All of them have a map within. A magical map. Once dispelled, it will no longer exist, but they are put in place by certain Red Mages, the knowledge of the locations of each of the artifacts. Your blood was one such artifact, Neris, That's why I sought you for so long. You do not know of where you came from, do you? Where you really came from?
She just stares at him, like glares.
And he just smirks back. I thought not. You were created using the blood of Ushtag. Yes, you are mortal and were created as most elves are, but it was through a process of sacrifice and infusion, if you like, that gave you these draconic connection to Ushtag. For his blood is within you. at least partially, and that is why I had to take some of your blood. It is to be used in part of the resurrection of Ushtag. That is what the Red Mages planned. Though having told you this information, I have a feeling I will not be allowed back within their ranks. In fact, they might get to me sooner than you will, Miss Neris, so, maybe try and catch me while you can, before they get to me.
I'll get to all of you.
That being said, you want to know the location of one of these hideouts so that you may find the map, and I promised you as such. I believe there is one north of the city. I think it is between here and the next city along to the north. I forget its name. It's like Kerpisk or something like that. I don't recall exactly. Anyway, there is a hill. It is a barren land mostly in Rachir, though supposedly once fertile. There is a barren hill with some stones atop it, a cairn, if you like. I believe that within there is a hideout of the Red Mages, and if you were to go there, I'm sure you would find the map that you seek, and that would tell you all the locations of artifacts. We know there is one here, and it is in the palace, and I'm sure you have seen it. And as memory serves, I believe there is one also somewhere in the Green Lake. Obviously not too far from here. Nevertheless, if the Red Mages are not here already, they soon will be. Would be best to prepare yourselves for such an eventuality, for though I am powerful, I am not the most powerful of my order.
Malar just moves away now, just takes Neris and gestures to Dox to, okay, we're done, we're heading out. So, still holding Neris, goes up the stairs and probably will make sure there's a couple of doors between her and Damon before he actually lets go of Neris.
Dox will take Rallum and wordlessly follow you guys up. Ta-ta for now. It's the last thing you hear as you exit the jail. So, the rest of you...
just one moment. So
no,
when
go ahead.
Mallard lets go of Neris, she doesn't struggle. She calmly walks like a few steps forward, turns around, and just looks at him and says, next time you get between me and Damon will be your last. And just turns around and walks away.
Ms. Neris. Follows after her, giving her a bit of space.
Yeah, no, she's pissed.
Dox kind of leans over to
where
you.
are we? Where are we walking, by the way?
Yes, good point.
I think we should be walking to the king to say, you might be about to be assaulted by a bunch of quite powerful mages.
Where are we walking in this moment?
You're basically walking through. So after you've gone up the stairs, a couple of flights of stairs, it's basically along the corridors of the palace, on your way back towards the throne room.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, never mind then.
But Dox leans over to you, Malar, as you're giving Neris a bit of space, and says, if she really needed a weapon, I still have a dagger. I managed to hide.
Quietly enough so Neris can't hear this. Now, Ms. Neris already has one bad stereotype in Mr. Seth. She doesn't need another in you, Dox.
It is for safekeeping, but I understand. So you guys are, you three plus the Raven are continuing towards the throne room. So as this conversation has been happening, Brucon, Seth, Leo, and Brina, I'm guessing under Seth's guidance with the use of Rallum, you've ascertained that the rest of them are at the palace, and you quite possibly got a glimpse of the red mage they were talking to. if you would like, Seth, you can do a perception check using Rallam's perception. I believe that works.
Okay.
Because you're using the bird senses.
Yep.
To see if you spotted exactly who this is or not.
Perception. What does perception use?
Wisdom.
It only has some
Wisdom.
of the skills. Wisdom. That's an 11. But he does have magical dark vision, so...
Yeah. Oh, that helps. That's although magical dark vision probably won't, unless it's innate dark vision, probably isn't going to help here because of the anti-magic field.
Well, it's devil's sight, but he has
The Eldritch
normal dark
Invocation.
vision for 100. He has dark vision for 120 feet normally.
Right, so that dark vision would be fine, but the Eldritch sight wouldn't work while you're in the anti-magic field. Yeah, cool. Okay, so yeah, I would say during the conversation, then you probably ascertained late in the conversation from them saying that this is Damon, so you are clued up. But not until quite late in the conversation, hence you're a little bit delayed and sort of, going at a leisurely pace for half your journey before getting to I believe you guys were going to go to the palace, but correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, when they finish talking to Damon and start walking towards the king, gonna use an action to turn off my connection to him, turn to the others, and be like, nobody piss off Neris today. Nobody. She just met Damon again.
Leave her alone if you want to live.
Who's
Pretty
Damon?
much.
Brina asks naively.
He's a red mage. Tried to kidnap Neris. Took some blood. Threw a ceiling on Leo. I don't know who Marshall is. Some guy that was there, one of the red mage bad guys.
Fourth
he yelled his
wall
name out.
straining.
He was Marshall. And killed Neris' aunt.
Okay.
Oh.
Had Neris kill her own aunt.
What's the
I know what I
cause?
said. Oh, and she her face is shocked and saddened by this.
Yeah,
And
so
then goes silent.
don't piss her off today, because she was talking to him without magic, so she couldn't barbecue him. So let's not piss her off when we see her today.
Yes, agreed. That does sound like an excellent survival strategy.
Okay.
They're heading to the palace, so do we want to meet up with them?
Yeah, it seems like we should compare notes. We've got we got quite a bit of information there, and it sounds like the others are getting something themselves. We should compare notes.
I'm going to fill them in on the stuff about the Red Mage hideout. The one that has a map and should be between here and the next town over. Should I have Valum tell them about the stuff we found out about the seer?
Well, I suppose it depends on how much you think, how reliable you think Rallum is. Seeing as my understanding is that you met this individual a few hours ago.
I can speak for him, so it's just using him. It's just me talking to them.
Well, all right. I'm feeling
he's
very
like-
out of my depth now. I'm not sure.
He's like the Comrock. I just speak. He speaks what I say.
As Seth says that, Brucon, like a look comes over Brucon's face, and he takes the Comrock out of his ear, looks at it, and sort of goes, "Hello," and is sort of like going, "Is this thing sentient?" And is now kind of like freaking out about this thing that he's had in his ear for several days now.
It's an earworm. Ah!
I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder and just be like, "Oh, buddy, let's get you a drink."
But that Brucon perks up and goes, "Oh yes."
Let's head over. I'll fill them in on the seer stuff because they're going to speak to the king. So I'm going to go back to my connection to Rallum and I think I'm with Rallum's with Docs.
Yes.
So just in my voice, just comes out of Rallum's beak is just, "Hey, everyone okay?"
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
The bird is
Whoa,
talking.
Whoa, Mr. Seth. Whoa.
It's Seth.
No, Mr. Seth. What is this tomfoolery? No.
No, Seth. We haven't met a Tom, but we've got the kobold to talk, and they're working for someone named the Seer, who's looking for, what was it, another of their kind under the castle.
Oh, well, we've just bumped into an old acquaintance, Mr. Damon. I guess actually just Damon. He doesn't warrant an honorific. Oh, Mr. Seth, this is most disturbing. It would appear the red mages are in play.
How does
But
this
I
connect
suppose
to
you know that
the?
as well.
How does this connect to the assassination, though? How does this all link together? I don't get this.
I can't recall. Did the kobold say anything about the assassination?
They did say. I mean, because it was last time and it was a month ago. I'm not going to make you do a check on this. I think it's fair enough.
Thank you.
They did say that because of the tightening of security and the king retreating into the palace has meant that security is a bit more lax around the main thoroughfare of the city, and so they have been able to expand their hold underground more since the assassination has happened. So it's benefited them in that sense, because all sort of focus has been put on the palace rather than in the underground, in the sewers. Yeah, so that much has benefited them, but there hasn't been any sort of direct stuff other than that, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, the kobolds haven't done anything for the assassination. It's just been helping them. But their leader is looking for someone under the castle that's the same as him.
Oh, okay. This is most confusing now. We have to prioritize what we're going to do. Do you think this will get us closer to helping the king?
Helping the king, yes. Helping with the assassination, probably unrelated-ish. We'll be coming to the castle to join you.
Oh, good, Mr. Seth. I really feel that this is a situation that warrants further discussion.
We'll be there as soon as we can.
We will meet you in the throne room.
We'll be there as soon as we can, and I'm going to drop the connection.
Rallum
I'm going to hang up on him.
Rallum goes, "Oh, is that?"
Swat away at the raven.
Don't hit the familiar.
It just flutters and goes on Dox's other shoulder. Dox looks a bit uncomfortable, but lets it stay there nonetheless. Still in lizard folk form at this point, Dox. Okay.
Cool. Let's head to the castle. They'll be waiting for us there.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Wrong group. Brina's okay. Meanwhile, so you guys, so Brucon, Seth, Leobrin, and Brina, you're now on your way to the castle, to the palace. Malar, Neris, Dox, and Rallum, you'll arrive at the throne room first, naturally, because you're already in the building, so you're going to get there pretty soon. So within a few minutes, let's say, you get back to the throne room. You're coming in through the side door this time, which you were led through by the guards before, rather than sort of the grand walkway, the main entrance to the throne room. So it's slightly underwhelming actually coming in through the side. He kind of just turns around and nods to you all as you enter.
Backstage is always really underwhelming.
Yeah. So there's just the three amigos, the king, his jester / bodyguard, and the advisor / translator, who are there. They all nod to you as you enter. the advisor sort of steps forward and nods to you all and says, "You have returned. I trust you will show the appropriate manner in front of the king as you address him. I trust also that you have what you need from your visit."
Well, what we have is some information that may be of interest. You should be prepared for many high-grade magic users to assault the king, the palace, and attempt to free that man downstairs. I would up the guard, and I would deploy sentries, and I would be ready. And Malar is a bit flustered.
Okay, yep, that was well portrayed. Thank you, DK. That was spot on. Definitely got that. So he looks sort of your animated, Malar's animated sort of behaviour here does give away, does hint to the king that something is amiss, and he calls over his advisor. Neris, you'd understand in Draconic, as would Dox, that the king says to him to go and delay Caladan Lambold, because who he is due a meeting with, so delay him coming in here. So the advisor nods and leaves the room, out the main entrance. The doors close behind him. These grand doors close behind, and it's just you see also likewise on the two sides, the guards that were flanking the doors, they also sort of turn, nod, and exit the room. So it's just you, the jester, and the king left in the room. The king rises from his throne and kind of walks down the steps so that he's now finally level with the rest of you. So no longer sort of the pomp that normally is you witness in the throne room. What are these magic users? Red mages, yes?
Yes, your grace.
And they come for...
They will come to either rescue or kill the person downstairs.
And I assume they wanted this. And he points to the Moor throne.
Oh well, no, it's less about the pomp and the prestige. It is you are aware of Ushtag, the great deceiver?
Yes.
I think, yes.
Yes.
I think
the head and the dagger are from him, yes?
Oh, well, yes, I think they intend to resurrect this entity somehow. There are far too many pieces of the puzzle situated in this location. Malar shoots a glance at Neris when he says that. And I really would advocate disseminating them and hiding them, and if they get if they get any of these things together, they may be able to resurrect this being. And I don't think I don't think that'd be good for anybody.
As you're having this discussion inside the palace, Brucon, Seth, Leobrin, and Brina, you arrive at the keep, and within moments after having your weapons and arcane focuses taken from you by the guards before going further into the grounds, you then, which I'm assuming you're complying with, yeah.
Can I keep one dagger?
You can sleight of hand to try and keep a dagger, Seth. Yes. But yes. But anyway, either way, you will arrive at the palace and find the doors to the throne room are closed, and there's the advisor is there waiting for you. What did you get on your sleight of hand check?
25.
Okay, you smuggle a dagger, no problem. In your boot, nice and easy. Gotta love those knee-high boots, right? So anyway, so yes, you find the advisor outside. The doors to the throne room have been shut. It says, "I'm sorry, the king is in private audience with the with some of your group. I do not think you can enter at this moment.
Could you knock and check?
Mr. Lambold, it is hello. I'm afraid the king is in audience right now. Caladan Lambold, with his beer guts, swaggers in. His tail kind of he's not he's a dragonborn. I don't have a tail. His long cloak kind of swishes and slaps into Yusef as he kind of sort of wide boy style swaggers past, and before getting stopped by the advisor. He's a bit of a wide boy. And he gets stopped by the advisor who says this and goes, "Oh, come on! We were meant to meet at this time. It is midday. It was agreed. I am a busy man. I have a lot of things to do. Come on now." The advisor looks very sheepishly at you lots before he says, "My apologies, Galadan. Perhaps we can put you in the reception room. He should not be long. You will, of course, be accommodated for. Whatever you would like, food, drink, what have you, is available." And notably, this conversation is all happening in common, so it's almost like it is performed for you guys, like with Caladan as well, because they naturally would speak in Draconic, but clearly they want you all to hear what's going on here. But at this point, Caladan sort of mutters something in Draconic before nodding and guards taking him off to one side to one of the rooms. Then he turns to the rest of you. One moment. I will find out. And he turns towards the door. So, meanwhile, inside, Malar, Neris, Dox, and the familiar having this discussion. The king sort of fixes you with a determined look. Malar, there's you should speak to my brother-in-law. I have not believed him for some time, but he has said that red mages are gathering in the docks sector. He has been wary of this for some time, and the rest of the Dragon Council have not been listening to him about ... knock. Sorry. Yes, what is it? The advisor enters and speaks in Draconic. Neris, you'd understand. It's him saying that the rest of the group the rest of the pit champions, are outside. Oh yes, let them in. And the four of you are then allowed to enter into the room. The doors close behind you, so now you're all in the room. As I was,
can I just
yes,
just one thing. So that exchange with Caladan and it wasn't the Chamberlain, was it? It was
the advisor,
a lesser. Oh, okay. Just outside. I mean, can Brucon go for like an insight check? There's just something deeply sus here.
Sure.
And Brucon, I think, wants to try and get some kind of handle on whether there's something else going on.
What, as in it's sus that they're speaking in common, or it's sus their behaviour is? What is it that you're trying to figure out based on that conversation?
I think what Brucon's trying to determine is if there's any indication that these two are, if they are concealing some kind of deeper business or other kind of relationship with one another.
Oh, okay. As in, if these two are have a deeper relationship with each other. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So would that be insight or?
And yeah, insight sounds good for that, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'm rolling insight now. I rolled a 6.
As far as you can tell, no. Apart from knowing of each other, being that they move in the same circles, they don't seem to have any sort of friendship, kinship that you can tell. Anyway, the four of you are ushered into the room. The door is closed behind you. You can see the rest of the party there, in discussion with the king, who's notably not on his throne. Good day, pit champions. As I was saying to the rest of your group, it appears that The red mages might be trying to make a move on the palace. Your Loxodon friend has recommended tightening security, and I have said that whispers of the red mages have been made in the past, though there have not been any concrete evidence of this. But my brother-in-law, or the heir apparent to the Dragonborn Kingdom, has said that there are red mages in the dock sector, or at least there are rumors of sightings of red mages, though nobody has looked into this, for we have had other pressing matters like securing the palace.
Sorry, Jack, which sector?
The dock sector. The docks.
Oh, the dock sector, right.
It is the only sector that is not a color.
The fact that there is a party member named Docs.
Yes, that is confusing.
Was slightly throwing me off there. Okay, now I've got
the spelling
you.
is different, but the pronunciation is exactly the same.
The wet sector, gotcha. Okay.
Dock sector, from where... Yes.
Or the docklands sector, the port sector. It goes by many names, a literal translation, but it is where the ships are. It is the poorest of the sectors, and it's the only one outside of the city walls. Anyway, there much passing trade comes through here, so there are often outsiders and from around the whole of the Manylands. That is why it was written off as without concrete proof that this was just a rumor and not something worth looking into. That being said, though, if red mages are supposedly going to be making a move on the palace, the docks would be the easiest place for them to gather. It is the least, there is the least security, it is outside the walls. Perhaps there is something to these rumors. Probably worth talking to him at some point. Plus, be wary that he is also on the Dragon Council and therefore is a suspect in the investigation.
Well, I mean, you said he's now the heir apparent, so yeah, I had already pretty much fingered him as someone to be cautious about. So did you say he has been trying to warn you of something? Did I understand that correctly?
Yes. It is he who has been saying to the Dragon Council that to send militia into the dock sector and find these red mages. But we do not have the time and resource to do this right now. Not without concrete proof of this.
Except that you do because you have us. That's basically where we're up to here, yes?
It would make sense, though I do not wish to intervene in your investigation, but if you have information on red mages and things, then that would be a good place to go.
We've actually been we've become hindered a few times during the investigation because of the attacks done by the Kobold Kingdom. We've handed over one or two of them to the men that you recommended to us that we've been working with, and when questioning one, they said how their leader that they've been working for is looking for another of his kind below the castle that's here. Does that mean anything to yourself?
I do not know this other of its kind. There are no kobolds below the palace.
Not a kobold. Something they refer to as the seer, a creature that's leading them. It's looking for something related to it below the castle.
Forget kobolds for a moment. Just in general, what do you know about what's under the palace?
There is a creature under the palace. I think we may have discussed this before, but it is the one that powers the anti-magic field. It is a monstrous, otherworldly being. We did not understand where it came from or how, but it was hostile, but we subdued it, and we have kept it for its anti-magic properties. Our magister and researchers managed to find out, unlock the potential in powering the very walls of this palace with anti-magic.
And you trust the people in charge of looking after this creature implicitly, do you? What's the what's their command structure and all of that?
Well, you see, there is you must understand that there is. It is only easy to get to the creature below the palace when the anti-magic field drops, and to do so is to disconnect the creature from its housing. And that can only be done by those who serve within it. Otherwise, to enter its chamber is most difficult. We have laced the entrance with traps to hinder any possibility of getting to the creature.
And that's the only way to the creature, because it seems like all the forces that are targeting you would be targeting the creature. The red mages would probably want to get rid of it to get rid of the anti-magic field, and the kobolds want to remove it to protect, for him to get its own kind back. Is there definitely only one way in that's trapped? Would you be able to take us to see the creature?
You must understand, once the anti-magic field drops, there are a lot of magic doors, secret entrances around the palace. They will be unlocked as soon as the anti-magic field drops. So once the anti-magic field goes, you are able to move down there very quickly, move around the palace. It was more of an escape route before this was, used for this particular purpose. So once it drops, you can get into the palace very easily, which is a problem. It also means that those who, because when it was first created, those who went to put this in place, they sealed themselves by, of course, going through these secret entrances and then having them locked behind them. So they live down there now. They do not, see the light of day, for they are in service to the kingdom by making sure this is still working. And this creature is being kept alive and is still powering this thing. The crystal, I think it's a crystal of some kind. It powers the entirety of the grid for the palace. Other than that, there is only the main cave entrance, which, as I said, has been trapped, and it has a number of traps to it, which, as far as I'm aware, only a select few know how to surpass. Even I do not know the knowledge of this.
Would the people that know this be council members?
No.
Now, Your Grace, Your Highness, forgive me.
Yes.
I would wish to consult with my brethren over here just to refine and focus our efforts and get to the bottom of what we're our investigation. Would you mind if we just had this corner to ourselves? Just a little. We just want to huddle. Just a little.
You have 1 minute. I'm already late for my next appointment.
Okay. Fucking huddle. Guys, I can't do the voice anymore. What the fuck are we doing?
I have no idea.
What the fuck is going on anymore? It sounds like going down into the depths of the castle. Don't do that anymore, because that fucks everything up. It also sounds like everything we've got to deal with is going to be trying to get into the bottom of the castle. So, red mages have turned up. Kobold Kingdom is here doing shenanigans. There is still a killer on the loose.
Yeah, the Kobold Kingdom want to break in and release the thing so they can be together. I'm just going to call them a couple, so the couple can be together again. So we need to find the other one of these, kill it, leave the anti-magic field in place. These have nothing to do with the assassination.
Do we think there's any possibility of what do the Kobold Kingdom want? Are they just being told what to do? Are they just like free agents? Do we negotiate them?
The Kobold Kingdom want is to purge Rachir and take over. Yeah, correct. Yes, agreed.
Why is it always genocide?
Because
why do they always choose violence?
Extreme enough.
Sins of the fathers, baby.
What happened to friendicide?
We need. I say.
Okay.
We go to the docks, look for red mages. We find a way into the Kobold Kingdom, cut the head off. We kill the seer thing. The kobolds, they do not seem that smart. They don't seem that organized. This thing is telling them what to do, where to go. We cut him off, let them go back to being pickpockets.
I agree. I agree with this one. Docs says. Brina shakes her head. She's not convinced.
The kobolds seem to me. Sorry, I'm with DK of just we're deep in tactical talk here, so I'm not doing this all in character.
Totally fine.
But I am my feeling about the kobolds is that they are largely a distraction right now. Not to say they're not a potential problem, but they seem to me on the critical path. I would say they are. I definitely put them lower than the red mages, and I think I also put them lower than a group of assassins. They're an irritant, and we should definitely try, bear them in mind. But I'm not convinced that they are item 1 on the list. I think the docks are an interesting idea, but the thing that worries me, they're outside the city walls, and there's something very suspicious about the guy who you would think would be prime suspect for this assassination plot, saying you should totally send people down here out of the city walls. So that's a bit dubious for me. I'm more concerned about making sure that the palace is not about to fall to the red mages, and trying to if you think about it like sort of Guess Who thing, we know there's somebody who is not being straightforward and above board. Someone on the council is trying to knock over the king. We've got some leads about that. We can try and sort of put that together. My feeling is that I'm just very nervous about going, okay, let's just toddle out of town where all of the stuff is potentially about to kick off. That feels to me like a prime recipe for turning around and going, whoops, everybody died while we turned around.
Mm-hmm.
But I am persuadable because I'm not like fully wedded to this at the same time, and I absolutely take the point about the red mages are unquestionably a problem, and if there is a lead, it would be good to try and figure something out. I'm just really worried about going there.
Brina kind of nods in agreement with Brucon. I feel similar to this. Leo, Neris, what do you think about this? Because I can now take on that role and be like, hey guys, let's hear from everyone before we move back. But I think I think James also wanted to interject, but we'll come back to you. So let's go first to Neris. What do you have any thoughts on this?
She's very far removed from this conversation. She's got her own things to think about.
Okay, Leo, Bryn?
Obviously I've missed a bit of stuff. So, people coming in, red mages are here. Bart is muted.
Sorry, we know Damon is here.
Yeah.
He has said in the bit of this session that you missed that his allies are coming to either rescue or kill him, and are shooting for. So he's kind of given a great big fat. There's a clue. You should go away from the city to investigate this clue. There's a map, which feels very obviously red herring-y. He's also.
Yes.
He's also said.
Never trust the villain giving you a big clue.
Exactly, but he's also said that the red mages are on their way. We don't have any. The only kind of corroborating evidence we have for that claim is the thing that Zarndak, who by the way we should also be super careful around, because I also don't trust this guy.
The king.
But he's claimed that his brother. Like, there's just a huge amount here that is not adding up, but two separate groups have indicated that there is a potential red mage problem, is what it boils down to.
I think we need to focus on what is main quest right at the moment, because in my mind it's still this assassination attempt on the king, and everything else is sort of a distraction. Like, if we can fix that, get that done, and then we can move on to do something else.
Well,
gotta love an intrigue storyline.
for the kobolds, We don't know where their base is. Fuck them. Let them come at us. Kill them when they come. We'll get some information. So fuck them for now. Red Mages. With all the information we've got, is they're out of town, we're not leaving, or they're at the docks. So if we're looking for Red Mages, go to the docks. Assassination plan? You keep lampooning my kidnap everyone plan. So, like, we need to get them, like, I can read their minds once a day, but that would take a week to go through all of them. We could put them
We
in
don't
a
need to read them.
thing.
Well, we don't need to read all their minds.
Yeah, we've knocked
Yeah,
some off the list, haven't we?
We've knocked one.
Two.
The one that I read the mind of. In a
So-
super kitchen.
Okay, so Ragthrock, the welfare lady, we've definitively. Sorry, yes, no, it is only the one.
So
We've
today,
definitively
how
knocked
about-
out.
We go to the docks, meet the king's brother. We'll give him a light questions about the assassination while I read his mind, see if he's behind it. If he's not, then the Red Mage info is probably more accurate. Let's fuck up some Red Mages and give Damon a bad day.
Okay, well, are we all going to go to the docks in this plan?
Anyone
I mean, we've
got
got
anywhere else you want to go?
well, we've got two quite stealthy well, I say stealthy, but people that are able to hide in plain sight. Two of those members of the party. He looks at Seth and Docs. It's like maybe you two should maybe go and interrogate him without drawing attention. And he looks at Docs when he says that. Maybe you should go and interrogate him without drawing attention.
You should know.
Seth's head out of the way.
You should know. And she kind of gives a sideways glance towards the king before back to you guys, and then moves in a little closer and speaks even in a more hushed tone than usual. I have met the king's brother before, and it was very public. I may have assaulted him. This is why I was stripped of my role at the Enforcers. Because, like you, I thought he is the prime suspect behind this assassination, and someone very dear to me was killed in that assassination.
Let's go check, and if he does turn out to be the one, you can get your honor back.
So I can do this in disguise, but it's more my emotions that I am concerned with.
Yes, let's go fuck up the king's brother. Question the king's brother.
Sorry, that was apologies to Jess if she's watching this on catch up, but it felt so relevant that she probably would give this up at this point. Sorry if that's against the character.
Are we all going down, or is it just you two?
I'm really not. Hate the idea of splitting the party, but also hate just walking away. I suppose that on the counter argument is, would we be the deciding factor if there was a Red Mage attack? Because
I don't think we would. The anti-magic fields. Like, why don't we knock some names off this fucking list? We've got Brina and the Wand. We've got Malar is I'm sure he is toting Zone of Truth. Let's try and narrow that list down to like 3 people. Split the party.
Let's go. Let's interrogate, torture, question.
Team stealth, team tread lightly, stab hard to the docks. The rest of
Love
us.
that name.
And she of the Flame can go with you if she wants, or maybe Neris will be kicking around here. I don't know. But like the rest of us, maybe pick another name and we'll try and figure them out.
Isn't the king? So Brina kind of speaks up at this point and raises her finger. Didn't the king just say that the Caladan Lambolds is just here? He's about to have a meeting.
Yes, we saw him outside.
But we can't magic truth him in here.
No, but I mean, maybe we can talk to him afterwards. Like, not ambush him, but ambush him out after socially ambush him after his meeting.
Yes, Bree. Good. Yes. Let's wait for him outside the castle, then jump him.
No. Don't jump him. No. As in, like we could talk to him. We could confront him. We could appear before him after he's left the. Not we're trying to hurt him. but we could talk to him, or follow him back to the casino or something.
Yes.
Less
Let's do that.
useful, but yeah.
How many?
Use the social pillar.
What?
What?
Oh,
What?
the bondage table.
Oh no! The
No!
bondage table. Oh, right now I'm with you.
Is that-
I'm not even gonna ask.
Please repeat the words that you said, please.
Use the social pillar.
I thought you said the sexual pillar.
D&D.
It really sounded like you said sexual
Sexual
pillar.
pillar.
We're
That's
like,
why we were like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what?
Oh
I
my.
was like, okay, everyone huddle, and Leo's like, hey, everyone, sexual
Use
pillar.
the okay. What do you mean the social pillar? I still don't really understand what you mean.
There's the 3 pillars of D&D.
Oh, I see.
Ah.
Yeah, okay.
Meta reference. I like it.
Not everything that's not, it's not combat, it's not exploration.
It's social.
The 2 on Cephalex. I mean, let's do that. I like the sound of that. Knock another person off the assassin tree. I can't believe this entire anti-magic field rests on one linchpin monster. Are we all aware that it's a monster?
Yes.
I can't remember if we're all aware it's a monster.
You were at
Yes.
the monster. I think Seth spilled some beans on that as well.
And
Yeah.
the king
The,
called it an
all the
abomination.
security measures. Yes, all of the security measures, not just the anti-magic, but every single security measure is tied into this one weak link.
There's only one way in there, and apparently it's got like a treasure vault.
I'm just thinking maybe we should advise the king and to go to all the points that would magically fall open should this field drop, and maybe barricade those points just in case. Like,
He's right
The-
there.
the
'cause
big-
he guessed it.
yes, just checking that everyone is on board with this suggestion
Yes.
of,
Yeah.
hey, those points that rely on one single source of defense, maybe put a second source of defense there.
Yes, definitely need to get that across.
As Red Mage is coming, Damon inside, magic things stop working. Seems like a no-brainer. Seems like a Aarakocra's gun. I don't know what Chekhov would be in this.
This one. Right.
You mentioned
The
that's
sword of
king,
Damocles.
and then we'll leave. We'll wait for the guy to leave, and then we'll ambush him with social questions.
Yes,
Minutes up.
not knives.
You have
Not
discussed.
nice yet.
It was a very generous minute, I admit. But anyway, in character. In character, yes.
Break.
What is? Yes. What have you discussed?
We have a recommendation for the royal household, which is that all of your facilities that have a single PowerPoint of this anti-magic field that would drop open and be completely defenseless should the anti-magic field drop. Go and shore those up with like normal defenses, please. Like that's just you've got red mages coming. They're going to mess that up, and then you'll have no defenses.
Make a persuasion check, please, Leo.
All right. Oh wait, that's a good number. Well, 17.
17. It's not a hard check because he's quite paranoid, and red mages seems like a good idea. You're the pit champions. You know what you're talking about. Plus, you have a not red mage within your ranks as well, but was suspected of being a red mage and has links. So yeah, he nods. Yes, I will consult with the magister. It may take some time. There are a few of them, and they may be hard to find at this point. But we will do what we can. I perhaps will put. I will conscript some of the militia as well. Get some extra bodies inside the palace.
Yeah, if there's like a magic passageway that leads right into King's throne room, maybe put some walls up in that.
Put walls up. Okay. Right, we will talk about
But
this.
just, like build a barricade rather than just having
Yes.
a direct line in.
I really should talk to the... Protocol would say I should speak to the Lord General of the Army, which is neither Xerox, but as he is a suspect in this case, I would instead... I would speak to the head of the Royal Guard. I should speak to Macklin Funch. See if she can...
Just imagine the magic field dropped away, potentially just, wild how that would happen. Just boom! Imagine what would really, really fuck you. And put a wall there.
Yes, how
Like
eloquently
anything
put,
should
yes.
be-
Yes.
Excellent, right.
Where
Done.
the only issue I foresee here, however, is that in the event that the palace is attacked, and there is, by barricading all of these, we cut off our means of escape also, for it is the way out of the palace is through there too. The secret exits out of the palace are through these sealed doors. So, at least one I should perhaps not barricade, but certainly up the guard on, but keep it as an option so we can flee.
Maybe put some like plants around it so people can't see it very well.
Right, yes. I will take this advice under consideration, and I thank you for it. Was there anything else?
Oh, no, I think we're going out now. Just going out for a walk.
I mean, the only other thing to say is, I understand that politically this might be tricky, but you really ought to not be here. This is a very, very dangerous place that you've decided to set up shop in, and everything we discover indicates that you are a gigantic target, and the trustworthiness of the people that you have guarding your safety is it's debatable. So if you want our advice, I think we're all in agreement that going and having I don't know if you have a sort of summer retreat or something like that, but getting out of here and going to there might not be the worst idea in the world. The more we find out, the more it seems like the whole of Earth here is a gigantic powder keg waiting to explode, and most of it seems to be aimed at you. Just a thought.
Make a persuasion check, please, Brucon.
Alrighty. Okay. That's a 12.
He listens to your counsel, and he sort of nods thoughtfully, but his brow is very much furrowed before he sort of speaks, kind of looking down at the ground at first before he lifts it, kind of halfway through speaking. He says, "What kind of leader would I be if I were to abandon my city and my people in time of need? Yes, I must be a pillar of strength for my people. I appreciate that a target is on my front as well as my back, but it is always the case when you are the king. Always there are those that want to dispose you."
Well, that's your choice, and it's very, very brave and noble of you, I suppose. I'm personally not particularly invested in the political stability of this city, but understand that you would be. Just wanted to say, if it does turn out that you die horribly, you were warned. Anyway, we're going to carry on. We're going to carry on trying to find the person trying to murder you, and do what we can to bring them to justice. Just thought I'd mention,
Well,
Anyway.
it is appreciated. I have faith in your abilities in the investigation and your might, should it come to that, against any possible Red Mage invasion or anything else. My own abilities you have not seen yet, but perhaps in time.
I make an insight check. Okay, if he says that, Brucon's going to try and make an insight check to sort of try and gauge how tasty this guy is in a scrap.
All right.
Come on, let's have a roll more than
Especially as a
10.
martial
I
artist,
see.
I think you're going to do this.
I swear to God, natural 20.
Woo! So what does that make it? 25?
25, yeah.
Nice. All right. I mean, when he says this, and he kind of has like a bit of a toothy grin, which you haven't seen before, like this kind of cocksure kind of confidence from the king, and you kind of observe his form, and underneath like his robes, you can see. I mean, this guy's toned. Like he's been doing his calisthenics. This he's pretty ripped underneath it. You know, he seems like Dragonborn are relatively strong anyway, but he seems, he seems up there amongst the best. Equally, just from his expression, the way that he was looking, and so, this guy seems to appear to know or believe that he can handle himself well in a fight.
Yeah. So this guy is from the ass kicking equals authority school. Gotcha. Okie dokie.
You reckon he would be a very interesting fight for you, probably much more so than the last Dragonborn you fought in single combat, the Lambold son, Dres Lambold.
Yeah, Dres. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, said our piece. Think we've got a plan. So unless anyone has any other final interactions, shall we go and have a chat with Caladan Lambold?
Let's go.
Yes.
Do it.
Well,
Test volume levels. Better?
Yeah.
Down a tiny bit more would be even better, but yes.
Isn't
As we
Caladan coming
leave-
in?
Yeah, but we can't.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
But
We'll get him outside. Okay.
yeah. Let's go loiter around and wait for him to be done with whatever he's got to say. Actually, I tell you what, Ralam. Sorry, go on, James.
Sorry, I was about to say something. Ralam, you go first then.
Well, what I was going to say is we obviously can't like magically snoop on the conversation that the king and Caladan have, but we sort of can through it. Ralam seems to work despite the anti-magic
Yeah,
field.
but
Yes.
I looked this up because this is very interesting. But supposedly, a familiar is once it's summoned, it's no longer under a spell. It's a creature that has been summoned and it exists. So hence it doesn't get destroyed by entering the anti-magic field, which is a bit bizarre, I know, but yeah.
Oh well, so on the DL, well, I mean, the restriction of going with a character who doesn't know. Anyway, I've said my thing. There you go.
Yeah. So the king takes his place back on the throne, and he kind of taps one of the armrests 3 times. Knock, 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 and then the door to the main doors to the throne room open, and the advisor reappears, and you hear in Draconic, so Neris, you'd understand, the king say to the advisor that he is cancelling his appointment, his meeting with Caladan. He's not taking any more. He's not having any more meetings for the foreseeable future. And you're ushered out of the room as this happens.
So Neris relays this information.
Oh, hang on a second. I'm getting some
Unmuted
echo.
on Skype.
I got you. You're muted now. Sorted.
Thank you. I don't know
Welcome.
why. I don't know what I pressed.
Skyping rubbish.
As we're leaving, I want to take Ralam, because he's still in his raven form, into my hands. I'm sort of stroking him as we leave. And as we're starting to leave, because I'm going to turn to change into spider form. So he's going to shrink a little bit in my hands into spider form. And as we go out, I'm going to try and subtly leave him on a wall where he will be slightly hidden.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check for this.
$22.
Okay, yep, you can do this then. So you find an opportune moment where guards are... Well, actually, it's when the advisor kind of is going over to Caladan, and one of the reception rooms, the guards are looking around, hearing Caladan protest, and Draconic be like, "What? I come all this way," like all this, and causing a bit of a ruckus, and that's when you can then slip off the spider into a place, to a little nook.
Cool. And I'm telling him to go back to Damon's cell.
Yes, master. Yes.
And we're all sort of loitering around with Caladan to try and leave with him.
Well, why don't we just go to the casino?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
So-
right here.
Did you say you're sending Rallam to Damon's cell?
Damon, so.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I guess he is right here. I just, you know, ambushing him where he feels secure seems like to me like a better route to, getting a confession out of him than doing it here. But it probably doesn't make any difference in reality.
I mean, we talked now we're going to get a confession. We just want to get an idea if he's a prime suspect. I mean, I can read his mind if we want.
How many times a day can you do that?
Once. Then I
Do you want to save it? Do you want to save it for the docks? Because we've
Okay.
got Rena and a wand.
We can't get this guy into a zone of truth easily, though.
Why
Why
not?
don't you-
If we did it at the casino doesn't have an anti-magic field.
Yeah.
Does he have a reason to go in it?
He owns it. It's his. It's his
No,
office.
not the zone of truth.
Well, we go there and put him in one.
I see
Like-
both sides of
like
this
we-
discussion. Yeah.
No, you just go in and cast Zone of Truth. Like,
No, we questioned that last time. He'll know it's been cast,
Yeah.
because he makes the save, so he knows that he's in a zone of truth.
What Seth
Yep.
is saying
So
is that
what-
he
That
could
is the
try and
downside
walk
of Zone of
out of the zone if he wanted
Yeah.
to, depending on the space, of
Then
course.
that's suspicious. Warrants
We
further
had-
investigation. That's
we
how
had this
investigations work.
We had this conversation last time when my whole
But before you were talking about doing it to everybody all at once, not focusing on one person.
interrogations one at a time.
Okay, guys, I think actually this is a good point because with the sounds like a plan is coming together, and I think this discussion
Does
could
it?
go on
Okay.
for a little while.
Yeah, for sure could. Yeah.
Shall we call it here for today? I know it's a bit early, but then I've got an early start tomorrow, so I don't mind so much.
Okay. Yeah. No worries.
And then we can come back in 2 weeks
we'll
with a
do
solid
some-
agreed plan forward from here. But
Yeah.
as we leave things, you guys are exiting the palace and deciding how you're going to deal with Caladan, who's next on your list. And it sounds like you've got other things in the works now as well. Feels like things are coming together. I'm excited to see how it goes. And plus, it'd be good next time, if you're going to use Zone of Truth, for instance, it's going to be good to have Angelique here. And hopefully we'll have Jess back as well, because there's going to be some fun docs stuff in the pipeline as well. But anyway, thank you so much for coming tonight. Apologies, it's a bit of a short-ish session, but sometimes you just got to go with the flow, and it sounds like this feels like a good moment to jump off. So let's go with it with that. Yes, thank you, thank you, Dan. Yes, go to the merch store if you haven't already. Come on, it's great. And a big welcome back, and thank you, Marta. It's been a hot minute since we had you here as Neris. So thanks for being here. Finally, we found a gap in your schedule. It's amazing.
Thank you for having me back.
A pleasure, darling, of course.
Well, thank you, darling.
Thank you. Yes. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Now, I was going to say I will be here next week. No, I won't. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the next session, and then hopefully after that, I'll finally find time to do a recap of the last set of 5, which would be nice. Anyway, keep it here on Slice and Dice. If you're not already doing so, you can follow us on social media to be updated with our next streams and so on. It's all at Slice and D6. Until next time, whatever you're up to, take care of yourself, be safe, and good night. Bye.
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 Bye.